What's up, everybody? This is Eagle McMahon, and you're listening to Running It with Nate Sexton.
Running It with Nate Sexton is brought to you in part by Innova, the company that drives disc technology forward. Stay tuned for what's next.
Hello, disc golf fans, and welcome back to another episode of Running It with Nate Sexton. I'm your co-host, Jarett. He is the 2017 United States Disc Golf Champion, Innova team captain, and just all-around good guy. Our host, Mr. Nate Sexton. Nate, how you doing tonight, man?
Hey, I do what I can, man. Thanks for the great intro again. I'm doing great though.
Yeah, man, it's the season is coming. It's coming up quick. Lots of big announcements since the last time we recorded. You guys, you stacked up a little bit on the FPO side there, huh?
Yeah, definitely excited to add Haley. I think she's obviously one of the most talented players out there right now, and at her young age, with the power she has, the versatility she has with the backhand and the forehand, the aggressive putt. She's an exciting player to watch, and I hope she's going to really have a great season and a lot of success throwing some Innova discs.
Yeah, the choice of champions. So it's the right place. So yeah, another exciting episode coming up here for us, Nate. And this is actually perfect timing. We've been trying to get together with this guest for months now, but he's a pretty busy guy. His job requires him to work a lot of days. But last week we had Eagle McMahon on, and there was a segment where you and Eagle kind of talked about baseball players being pretty good throwing some discs and how the sport of baseball translates into disc golf. And you said maybe even specifically pitchers. So I figured, let's end the speculation. Let's get a Major League Baseball pitcher to come on the show and talk to us a little baseball, a little disc golf. And it turns out that we got a pretty solid one lined up. So today, Nate, we're running it with Major League Baseball pitcher from the Chicago White Sox, Dylan Cease. Dylan, welcome to Running It, man.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks for joining the show. I'm really excited to hear kind of a little bit more about your disc golf journey and how it obviously ties into what must be a really demanding career with all those games you have to play all the time on the road. And obviously they want to protect your arm, I'm sure, since you have to all that work pitching.
Yeah, so I don't really get to play during my season at all. Maybe I'll maybe get to play 2 or 3 days if I get an off day, but it's pretty tough because half the time the off day is like the day after I pitch, so I'm pretty sore, so I kind of just got to recover. But I gotta practice basket at the field if I want to practice putting or anything like that. But most of my disc golf time is like the 6 to 8 weeks after the season ends where I get a little bit off time.
And in that time, are the coaches just kind of have at it, or are they still pretty protective and saying, hey, man, you can play a little, or I don't know. I'm just curious. Obviously, when your arm is that valuable in the major leagues, they got to be pretty protective.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know, I think as long as I don't throw flicks, which I've researched tends to be what's harder on the elbow. I think as long as I stay backhand dominant, which I do, it should be good. I haven't really had any issues with it. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't really even discussed any of that with those guys. They tend to just kind of let me do my thing.
Yeah, that was before you were 5th in the major leagues in strikeouts, 3rd in the American League. I think the coaches might be watching a little closer now, Dylan.
Yeah, but I don't know. I played disc golf 5 days a week all through COVID in that off season. So who knows? Maybe it was maybe it helped get me there.
The backhand thing makes a ton of sense to me. I mean, that's a really different motion from what you're doing with a pitch. So that seems like a good way to go.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues with it. Yeah, but I mean, even right now, I'm back to throwing baseball, so I haven't played in a solid month. So it really, I don't have a big window at all to do it. So I kind of just try to get it all in as much as I can when I get that chance.
Sure, that makes perfect sense. So Nate, where are you at now?
I'm in Kennesaw, Georgia.
Okay. And so what kind of courses are like, what are your favorite courses down there? I'm not sure that I've been to that city specifically, but.
Yeah, so my home course is Oregon Park, and I play that one. It really just depends. I mean, that is generally the go-to just 'cause it's like 10 minutes from my house. But my favorite one is a course called Etowah. That's like 25 minutes from me. I tend to like the more naturey, like wooded courses. So, yeah, but I've been able to travel around and play a bunch of different courses, and I'll go up to Asheville, North Carolina, and I'll go to Nashville and try out different courses. I played in Vegas with Paul like 2 months ago, I want to say. So yeah, I try to get out and play as many different ones as I can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Nate, does Innova have any rules about you playing baseball?
That's a great question.
Gosh, I haven't really gone down that road yet. But I guess there's still time. I don't know.
I don't think they want you. I don't think they want you taking bat in practice. The team captain.
No, probably not. Probably not. They aren't. It's not very restrictive. I'll say that. They're not really putting anything in there. If anybody's interested, they're not really putting anything in there that's prohibiting me from certain activities. Though I do remember years ago when I was touring with Macbeth and we would play spike ball, and there was one time when he dove and he hurt his hand, and then Innova kind of was like, "Hey man, like enough with this spike ball." So they definitely put a little. I mean, it wasn't like any kind of like we're voiding your contract, but they were definitely like, "Hey man, like let's think about what we're doing here." So they might have a talk. Yeah, they'd probably do that to me if I like fell off my bike or something. Maybe they'd say, "Hey, well, you need to back off," or I don't know what. But overall, no, they're not controlling me in any way that way.
All right, okay, fair enough. Now, Dylan, obviously, we want to talk about disc golf, and I know you want to talk about disc golf too. But it'd be crazy for us not to bring up the career that you've had in baseball. You guys won the state championships in high school, right? You played with your twin brother, and that's actually who started with the disc golf, right?
Yeah, we won in 2013. So we, growing up, I mean, we're always on the same team, and we played all the way up through high school, and I grew like 4 inches and gained 10 miles an hour on my fastball from freshman to sophomore year, and I think that's when I took like the leap with baseball. But yeah, fortunately, I mean, he's the one who got me into disc golf. I think back in like 2017, after one of my seasons in the minors, we were living together at my parents' house, and he was doing his schoolwork, and I just gotten back from workout, and he had Jomez on, and at first I would always give him a hard time about it, but I literally had no idea what disc golf was. I'd never seen it, and then he kept swearing by it. This is like the coolest thing ever, and he knew all the top pros' names, and I didn't take it super serious, and then I went out and walked a course with him and kind of started messing around with it. And then, I don't know, I just kind of got hooked. It was one of those things where, I don't know, I like the mechanical aspect of sports. Like I like the body movement aspect of it. So the fact that you kind of have to like really refine your mechanics and, keep practicing. And it's like, it's almost counterintuitive at first. Like the disc just doesn't do what you want it to do. And you got to like really sit there and like pay attention to what's happening. So I got hooked from there.
Yeah, I definitely like that too. How thinking about how the smallest little adjustment in your motion is like could amount to 100 feet of travel right or left, or it's like amplified as the disc flies down range. It's like that little tiny 1 centimeter change or half centimeter change ends up being this huge change down the fairway 400, 500 feet. So that's always a cool thing to think about, I think.
Yeah, and it's for me, it's a little frustrating because I'm good. So I'm 6'2", 200 pounds. I can throw a baseball 100 miles an hour, but I can't throw a disc golf or a disc any farther than like 400 max, pretty much. So I still haven't even figured out. Dylan. I haven't figured out how to get that next range or that next distance, if you will.
Look, I mean, I gotta ask, if you're a baseball coach, please pause the show, turn off, skip ahead. You must have queued up a forehand and let it rip at some point.
I did at the Pro-Am. Kevin Jones and Eagle were there, and they were kind of like showing me how to do it. And I'm not gonna lie, I was able to rip them pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching YouTube highlights of the 98, 99 mile an hour fastballs, and I feel like, yeah, you jam a disc in your hand somehow and kind of go through a very similar motion with like a overhead, kind of a thumber or a hammer throw maybe. And I think that thing's got to be sent. I mean, I would think over 400 easy with that kind of speed.
I think I was getting them 400, but I'm not. I can't verify it, but I was getting some pretty good distance on it.
But it's like forbidden fruit.
It'd be cool to do.
Forbidden fruit until maybe once your career's done in the majors. Hopefully, it'll be many years. But then after that, maybe you'll be free to uncage the beast and really show us what you got with the forehand.
Does your elbow ever get sore from forehands? I know you're are you forehand dominant pretty much?
Yeah, I would say that's fair. Yeah, I think I would say forehand dominant, probably like 70-30. But yeah, I've definitely had, just like any athlete, I've had times where it's a shoulder problem. I've had times where it's elbow problems.
Yeah.
But then, just PT and rest and just kind of getting back. And lately I'm lucky to say I haven't had any problems, but so nothing like chronic and long term, but different little tweaks and injuries throughout my career, certainly.
Yeah, that's going to happen. I mean, anytime, disc golf, it's still explosive. It's still, I don't think it's quite as hard on the body as pitching, because there's times where you feel like you get hit by a truck. But I mean, there's times with disc golf where, the day after I'm definitely like a little sore in my back and my hips, but fortunately it's definitely way less hard on the arms. So it's I kind of like to look at it too, like it's using, like, how do I explain it? How with pitching, I'm driving down the mound and basically using my right leg to generate the power, using my right hip to generate the power, where disc golf, I'm using my left. So I kind of like to think of it as like, maybe balancing out my body, or kind of like training. I feel like anytime you can kind of do different stuff with the body, it can't really hurt, as long as you're being as safe as you can with it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think, just keeping that musculature balanced a little bit more when you do have the repetitive motion. I think I'm for sure, if they ran some kind of test on me, I'm sure my right side is stronger than my left, just from all the golf I've played for years and years and years.
Oh yeah, and it'll be little things like, you're like your not clavicle. I think it is clavicle. Like I've got like my right shoulder is like a little bit lower than my left, and all this different stuff. And one side of my core is way stronger from baseball, but it's not even that bad. It's kind of like how the body's adapted to that workload and that stress. So, but it's kind of cool. I try to consider it disc golf cross training as much as I can.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any more fun as cross training goes.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
You can be out there throwing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you like that Pro-Am?
Oh, I had a blast. It was everyone there was really cool. I played pretty decent disc golf. That was good. And yeah, it was cool to hang out with some high profile people, and then I'm definitely a big disc golf fan, so it was cool being able to see like the top guys in action, and it always blows my mind. Yeah,
mine too sometimes. So some of those guys, definitely.
It.
No, seriously, there's nothing. I'm happy for having my mind blown every once in a while. It's awesome.
So Nate, let me tell you, I'm doing some research. I watch a lot of disc golf, as we've talked about, and Dylan goes out and plays Maple Hill Gold with Simon and Casey, which I couldn't imagine playing that course. And he gets to 8. And his first disc comes up just short.
Oh yeah, that was brutal.
In the water. And I went, oh man, I know that feeling. And I'll tell you, if Dylan didn't walk right back over to his bag and grab another disc and rip that thing across and land it right up there, and then he birdies 8 with the friendly mulligan, and I said, you know what? This is a man of my own heart. I'll throw discs. I'm not taking a drop. I'm running out of discs, or I'm getting across the drink.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little spoiled with discs, and I'm not afraid to, if I see a couple ones I like, go on eBay and get some, or I've got some hookups, some buddies, so in that moment, it's definitely more important and way cooler to have a legendary shot at a course like that. So I couldn't resist.
Two things that I take away from what Jarett just said. On Jarrett's end, don't play Maple Hill Golds.
No, I'm not going to.
Yeah, okay, good, because you won't leave with any discs.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And if you're committed to not taking a drop, it's going to be tough. There's some carries out there. And Dylan, I heard you throw Sexton Firebird, so you need a Sexton Firebird, man. You know who to talk to.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're a serious disc golfer out there, and you haven't thrown a Sexton Firebird, you're missing out. I mean, I feel like it's one of those. It's a staple in disc golf, in my opinion. I mean, that's got to be a reason why it's pretty much the most popular disc out there.
Yeah, man. Let me know where to send one. I'll get you a good one.
Oh, sick! I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Now,
awesome.
What you did though is you just made him lose his respect from Simon, because in that video, Dylan pulls out his Sexton Firebird and Simon goes, "Did you get that for free?" And he went, "No, I bought it." And he went, "Okay, I respect that. Doing it. So now,
well, he probably still got that one.
Oh yeah, it's in the bag.
Yeah.
I try to throw. At this point, I'm trying to throw as much Discraft as I can, but I can't. There's no way I'd ever take a Sexton Firebird out just because it.
Yeah, you can probably write that into the contract.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, there's one. I got one that I got to keep.
Yep. Yeah, let me keep the Firebird. What is it like? How did that disc become so iconic? And was that something that you could have ever foreseen happening?
No, not really. It was just like, I was just over the moon to have the opportunity to have a disc with my name on it in 2015, and it did okay. And I mean, I thought they were great discs, and it turns out a lot of people agreed. And yeah, it was just kind of this slow build at first, and with Jomez and kind of my career peaking right at that moment as well, and yeah, I don't know, and disc golf kind of blowing up. It's just kind of a perfect storm for me. With that disc becoming an amazing thing. So
doing Jomez commentary, you think definitely helped elevate your status with all that?
I think for sure, because I think people, along with things like this podcast, it's like people get a little bit more of a sense for my personality, I feel like, than they might have with other players. And, I like to joke around and be funny and be approachable, and that's just kind of who I am. And so I think I made a lot of, this guy's one of my favorite players, a lot because of the way I play, but also just because people felt like they could connect with me a little bit more than with some other players, because they maybe don't know what that player's like. They only know that guy makes big putts or throws really far or whatever it is. And it wasn't like an intentional thing. Side. Yeah, but it wasn't like I did it because I thought that would happen, but I just think it's kind of like a silver lining of going to that commentary thing and having fun with that. And, at first commentary was just for fun. None of us got paid for any of that stuff. We were just doing commentary because Jomez
just
asked
trying to grow
us
the sport.
Yeah, just whatever, they wanted me to record over a round. How weird is that? I'll try it. Sure. I'll talk about the round and watch myself play well and, say that this shot was this or this is what I was thinking here, and it all just kind of grew organically from there because, I don't think anybody really saw the big picture back then.
Yeah, to me, disc golf is such a perfect sport for YouTube. I mean, it's when you guys do the rounds and they're edited. I mean, it's truly something I look forward to. I'll get home from the ballpark, and I know that every week there's a new tournament at some new cool course, and it's one of those things where it is like baseball in the sense of I now follow guys and I'm like, man, I like this guy's mechanics, or this guy's a clutch putter, this or that. And it's really cool to see it just see it in such a more serious and professional state than even when I first started watching back in 2017.
Yeah,
I feel like the game has really taken off, and I think really just the demand for discs and all that stuff is really going through the roof, and the sport's growing in popularity. Do you have did you keep any 2015 Firebirds? Because that's if you kept enough in those, that's a financial asset at this point.
Yeah, I did, and I actually sold almost all of the really rare ones, and it was a financial a windfall for me for sure, because those things are really collectible. But yeah, I definitely have a lot of them left. But
That's awesome.
some people
I love
really
that
want those
picture.
things.
I love that picture you sent, Nate, where you had all the 15s lined up when you first got them, and you just had like a ton of them there, and it was like if you only knew. You were giving them you were giving them to the mailman.
Sure.
People were going, I got my own disc. Here you go.
Man.
Yeah. Jeez.
Man.
Well, each one's a trust fund right now.
Yeah, but it's not only me, because anybody could have bought a bunch of those things back then, So they were just sitting there for $20 or whatever it was. So yeah, it's just.
Wow. I mean, you can't even go and find them for what, less than $200-$300 on eBay right now.
I'd say for a new one, you're probably pushing up near $1,000 for one that's not thrown.
That's incredible.
It's pretty crazy.
Wow.
So,
are you allowed to say this? Do you know how many they made? Like, or is that kind of like a breach of?
I could take a stab at it. I think it's less than 5,000.
Less than 5,000, which means probably at least 3,000, 3,500 have been thrown.
Probably, I would think. I mean, I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, like what I got paid in that first year, but it wasn't a whole ton. I mean, it felt like a ton to me back then.
Back at the time.
But yeah, it wasn't like it was some runaway success from the first minute. So yeah, I would guess there were probably less than 5,000 of those 2015s produced.
Man.
Yeah, who knows?
That's really cool.
Gosh, there's people that have no idea. They threw them into ponds places, and they're still sitting there. They didn't know what they had in 2015. They just bought a disc with a cool Firebird on the front of it.
That's how it goes. That's how everything collectible goes, I feel like. If you knew from the first second that it was collectible, that'd be kind of weird. Like, it's good that they get out there and just, I've thrown plenty of them into ponds. Not really plenty, but my fair share. We'll say that.
Now Nate's sitting here. He's got the Firebird. He's got the Firefly. He's got the XCal. You're disc rich, Nate.
Yeah. It's a real rags to riches story, man. I had no discs back in the day. Can you believe that? Now I got 3.
Unbelievable. So now, Dylan, I'm thinking to myself here. Your brother is your twin brother. Oddly enough, right? This is not the first podcast I've ever done with a Major League Baseball player who has a twin brother. That's pretty crazy as I'm sitting here thinking about it. But I did a podcast with Jose Canseco a few years ago, and
really, what kind of podcast?
Oh man,
it wasn't disc golf.
No, it was called The Truth Hurts with Jose Canseco, and he talked. And anyone who's listening to this, you can find it. It's out there. It's on YouTube. It's on iTunes. And Jose's a very interesting individual, but watching him still in his 50s hitting a softball and seeing how fast his hands are and how far he can still hit a ball is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And the same thing with a golf ball. He stinks at golf. Sorry, Jose. You do.
He just hits it a mile.
But oh my God, the speed! I've seen him crack a driver.
Wow. Yeah, I mean the guy's a specimen. I mean, you wouldn't want to run into that guy, and if he's in a bad mood for sure.
Here's the thing: he's never in a bad mood, dude. Like, I can't even explain to you, but I just remember at one point we were leaving a meeting where I was staying at his house in Las Vegas. We're leaving a meeting, and he pulls over, and we pull into a Applebee's, and we order lunch. And the waitress comes and asks for dessert. I said no. Jose orders a brownie sundae. He gets a brownie sundae, and he asks for 2 spoons, and he slides a spoon over at me. And like with the most serious look you've ever seen, he says, "Here." And I just took the spoon out of his hand, and he's like, nods at me like, "Let's go, kid. We're going to town on this thing." And I'm like, it's 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'm sharing a brownie sundae with Jose Canseco.
Jose Canseco.
Right now.
That's pretty legendary.
Yeah, it was it was pretty crazy, but yeah, to be able to see him, do what he does, and especially where he is now, it just, like you said, seeing Ricky and Paul and those guys play up close, it's to see a professional athlete doing what they do is just it's
It's mind blowing.
completely. Yeah,
It really
it
is.
is completely mind blowing, and I actually we went and we practiced for a charity softball game. So like Frank Mir, MMA fighter, he was out there, and Jose was out there, and a couple of other people from Las Vegas. And I was shagging balls, and I was like, I'm not leaving until I rip one over the fence from him. And literally, like the fourth one, I jumped up and ripped it up over the fence, and I ran back, and I was like, dude, I just robbed a Jose Canseco home run. I can die now. Like, you know what I mean? Talking about living the dream. So, yeah, it's crazy. Now your brother, is he still out there? Is he playing disc golf a lot still, or have you now surpassed
Oh,
him in disc golf?
no, no, I definitely haven't. So I did. He's in Tuscaloosa, Alabama right now, and he was able to like help me sign up for a tournament there. So I actually played my first rated round, and then tournament play is called the Titletown Classic. So yeah, he's out in Tuscaloosa playing Bowers and a couple of courses around there. Yeah, he's so I would say he's a little bit more consistent than I am, and he's got the forehand, so he can like hit some different angles better than me sometimes. But I was able to actually beat him at that tournament, so I was pretty excited about that.
Wow. I just can't imagine, and I feel like this has got to be tough. But obviously, you're making your money and you're making a career for yourself in the MLB. But like, just knowing that maybe you have this amazing forehand, just like, and you're sitting there on the course, like, oh man, it sure would be nice to have a 400-foot forehand right now. But nah, I better not. That's got to be kind of tough sometimes.
Yeah, I look at it kind of like James Conrad. It is what it is. It's never gonna have beforehand. Well, I'm not gonna say never. It'd be. I definitely don't see myself incorporating it until after baseball's over.
That makes sense. It makes perfect sense. But it's not. It's like James maybe doesn't have it. I feel like you definitely have it, but you just can't use it.
I could definitely develop one.
Yeah.
It'd be a good time. It really would.
Yeah, sweet. I'll look forward to it. It'll be a silver lining to when you're ready to retire from baseball.
Yeah, exactly. I got a little YouTube channel for disc golf, so I'll have to. Hopefully, if I can keep it going for that long, I'll do like a tutorial or something, show my progress.
Sweet.
All right, guys, we're going to be back with more from Dylan, but real quick, we're going to check in with a few of our sponsors. Are you looking to add more distance and better form out on the disc golf course, but you're tired of chasing discs and losing them out in a huge empty field? Well, check out our friends at VisionaryDiscGolf.com. VisionaryDiscGolf.com has created the most incredible portable disc golf training net that is specifically designed to be both large enough and strong enough for disc golfers to confidently work on form and accuracy in their backyard or on the go. That means no more knocking over these soccer nets and softball nets that we've been throwing discs in. VisionaryDiscGolf.com has stepped up and created an incredible training tool specifically made for disc golf. Now you can practice your form and accuracy with your drivers, mid-range, and putters right in your backyard. You can use it for home training, field training, tournament or league warm-ups. Guys, this is amazing for coaches and trainers to work with individuals or groups. Check out our friends at VisionaryDiscGolf.com. If you love throwing discs, you're going to want to check this out. These things are affordable. They're going to be coming out with a bunch of different difficulties, so you only need to buy one base, and they're going to keep creating new nets that are going to be able to help you work on different aspects of your game. VisionaryDiscGolf.com. Check them out. Click the link in the description of this show. We thank them for sponsoring this podcast, and we can't wait to hear about you guys and your experience with these incredible training nets. Without a doubt, every single week in my disc golf league, there's somebody that pulls out a dyed disc out of their bag, and everybody sits and they look at it and they examine it, and it's this big thing. And I've always wanted to be that guy. Now I am that guy because of my friends over at Greazy Dyes. That's Greazy with a Z, Dyes. GreazyDyes.com. Guys, you owe it to yourself to go check out this website. Here's a guy that does amazing custom dye jobs. These are work of art on plastic, and they're affordable, which means you can take it, you can throw it in your bag, and you can be the guy at League showing off your awesome custom dye. Visit GreazyDyes.com. Use code RUNIT10. You guys already know. Save yourself a little bit of money, but do yourself a favor and check out Greazy Dyes on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Guys, the dye jobs on these discs are amazing. When we came across him and we started talking, I knew that if we were going to recommend a custom dyer, it was going to be Greazy Dyes on this show. GreazyDyes.com, code RUNIT10, save yourself some money, and get that awesome dyed disc in your bag and be the star of next week's league or the next round that you're out there on the disc golf course. Now, Dylan, obviously, disc golf is something that you love doing. You said you're back, you're throwing a baseball already. But as you had reminded me in our little beginning chat here, we don't know what's going on with the baseball season right now. What do you think, man? Are we going to get baseball in the spring?
Yeah, I mean we're very locked out right now. It's definitely tough to say when exactly. I'm preparing as if it's going to be pretty close to like normal timing, but we never know with kind of the business side of it. So I'm hoping it's only pushed back max a couple weeks. But it really is, it's quite the unknown right now.
It couldn't be any worse timing for you. You make your major league debut in 2019. You get some good play in 2020. And then you come in 2021. You guys are the top pitching rotation in Major League Baseball. As I'd mentioned, you are 5th in strikeouts in all Major League Baseball, 3rd in the American League, only 20 back from first place. You're starting to hit your stride. I'm sure you got to be pumped up and be ready to get back out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's. I have faith that the season's gonna be played. So it's like, I'm not freaking out about it or anything. So yeah, but it's definitely chomping at the bit, and as time's going on, day by day, I'm kind of getting that itch to get back out there and compete. So hopefully we can get it resolved, and some of the issues, some of the many issues can be worked on, and we can get to something amicable and get us out there.
See, Nate, everyone keeps saying disc golf. Oh, you guys, you got to become like the other major sports. Look at this. Now Dylan's looking at a lockout. That's not what we want for disc golf.
You got to do what you got to do, though. If something's not right, you got to have the negotiating power.
Oh, and you'll see, like, I will guarantee you, as there's more money brought into disc golf, you're going to start seeing some, I'm not going to say drastic changes, but things will definitely get to levels, and there'll be aspects of it business related that you didn't think were going to happen. So it's just part of it.
I think drastic changes. People are showing up at press conferences in helicopters now.
Yeah,
it's getting real. Now, Dylan, for our listeners, just real quick, because maybe they're not baseball fans and maybe they're only disc golf fans, there is a difference between a lockout and a strike.
Yes.
And what you guys are in is a lockout right now. Just briefly explain that for me, if you would, please.
Yeah, so a strike is basically like when the players like band together and don't play. Whereas a lockout is implemented by the owners, saying you can't use the facilities, and it's sort of just like a leverage technique for them to kind of try to, get the ball rolling. But if we stick together, we've got a good union, and if we stick together, we should be able to accomplish kind of the goals that we're trying to accomplish.
What about Major League Baseball friends? You've got to be the guy that's like talking to disc golf and trying to show Jomez to the guy in the locker next to you. Who have you been able to rope in and get out and play a little with you?
Yeah, so I've got Lucas Giolito's played a little bit with me. I took Carlos Rodon out this year. In Baltimore, we were able to play. I think it was called Legacy, if I'm not mistaken. Legacy something, one of the courses. Other than that, it's kind of a harder sell. But guys definitely at the very least are interested in hearing me kind of talk about it. And when James Conrad hit that crazy shot this year, it's everybody when I walked in there was like, did you see that? Did you see that? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, actually I was watching it live. So that was like the talk of the clubhouse for like 10 minutes. So it was pretty funny.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's super exciting. And I know that everybody, it's funny you said that, because everybody that I know that knows, obviously that I'm a huge fan of disc golf, I get all these messages like, hey man, I saw disc golf on ESPN. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I'm like, if you saw it on ESPN, don't you think I saw it already? Think I know that this happened.
Somebody just wants to make your day. I get the same. I got some of the same stuff from like extended family. Like, hey, did you hear?
It's like, I was there. Thanks.
Yeah, if you pause the video, that's me with my hands on my head.
Man.
Now, Nate, it's got to be pretty cool for you. You started out, just throwing discs in the park, and we've talked about a million times how that nobody ever saw disc golf coming on this strong, this fast. And now this is the second professional athlete from another sport. We had Casey DeSmith from the Pittsburgh Penguins on previously, which you can find in the archives and running it. And now we've got Dylan on. It's got to be pretty cool to see these other big time major league and professional athletes that are this into disc golf.
Oh, definitely. It's really cool. Anybody, just that whole pro-am, just seeing some of these people that are, celebrities in their own fields and in sports, it's just cool to think that those people are also playing disc golf. And then even like with you, Dylan, like knowing who the players are, that's amazing. Just to think that, yeah, oh man, I love my Sexton Firebird. And it's like, as a kid, if someone would have told me, oh yeah, someday you'll have a disc and somebody pitching in Major League Baseball will throw your disc, like, yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. It's I can't even imagine that. I've loved the idea of having a disc, so I hope one day maybe I can try to copy you and do something, but it's definitely not going to be on the playing side. It'll be more on if I can like create cool content or something.
Sure. Well, and you never know, man. You never know. Maybe once you can unlock that forehand, age 40, you make a charge for the Masters World Championship. Who knows?
That would be funny.
No,
yeah, I got some pretty big disc golf plans in the future if my baseball career goes well, money wise at least. I want your opinion on this.
Okay.
I have a plan. I want to buy some beautiful land within 30 minutes of a major city and build an epic course, and then maybe do like a winner take all big money tournament like after your guys' season is over, maybe like the week after or something. Invite 30 people to it, and I'm talking like, I don't know, a couple $100K, but only first place brings home money. Everyone else, like, you pay for their food, their living, all that. Do you think like a lot of disc golfers would be interested, and do you think that would be like good for the game?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think if there's no risk to the player financially, like as far as, it'd be hard to swallow if people are like putting in a bunch of money to try to get there and second place walks away with nothing. But I think if it's like a fun time weekend and everyone's taken care of, I can't see why that wouldn't be a huge success.
Yeah, that would be something that would be really cool, and I definitely, if baseball goes as well as I'm hoping it does, is something I got my eyes set on, so I'll have to keep you posted on that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, would you stop it? You've got a payday coming like no other. Oh my gosh.
You can't count your chickens before they hatch,
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart.
It's good chance I'll be able to do it. That's why I'm starting to try playing it out, make some connections, if you will.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, Nate, Dylan spent a little time with the ever popular Eugene Emeralds.
Yeah.
In Eugene, Oregon, and that's kind of Nate's neck of the woods. Depending on what year you interview him, he might tell you he's from Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's true. I did definitely live there for a while. Was this pre-disc golf for you?
This was 2016, definitely pre-disc golf.
Oh man,
unfortunately, I know
fun courses. That's too bad.
I know. I missed really throughout the minor leagues. I was in so many different cool places, and my brother would visit me, and he'd bring out his discs, and he'd have like U-disc, and he'd want to map out. I played in Indiana here and there, and I'd be like, "Whoa, whatever, dude." Like, but now I regret not joining him. But I was able to I went and so I lived in Charlotte for AAA, so I went to Hornets Nest with him one time. But I mean, that was back before I really practiced. So it's like there's only so much you can do on those high level courses when you're an amateur newbie kind of guy, which I still am. But now I can do some cool stuff now with disc golf. So
yeah, I was watching you play with Simon. You have enough arm to play almost anywhere. Maybe you're going to hit a couple trees, but like you could you'll be able to battle your way through.
Yep, I'm starting to learn. How basically when I wanted to shape shots. Previously, I would do it with my arm and like my wrist angle. Paul kind of had talked to me like, you got to shape your shots like with your body. So I'm starting to do that where, if I want it to be like more in that hyzer angle, I like bend over at the waist. And
yeah,
I feel like it's definitely helped me get consistency, but I'm still like my mechanics are still a little bit like raw, and I think I'm not like quite timing stuff up, so I still like I'll go through a 3-hole stretch where I'm like I feel like I'm hitting my line every time and all that, and then I'll go through a 5-hole stretch where I just look like I've never played before, but it's all for fun. I definitely don't have the chance to practice enough to like get to that next level.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd be pretty weird if it was any other way when you're talking about taking 8 months off of disc golf and then just playing real hard for a couple weeks in a year, so that's it's not, you're not going to find a whole lot of consistency, but you can still definitely improve and have a great time. But how did you like Eugene? How long were you there?
I was there for July, I think 3 months. It was beautiful. I mean, it was really kind of cool. It just, even that whole Northwest area in general, that was only thing I didn't love about it is the travel in that league was pretty horrible. So it'd be like you play 3 games at home and then you'd finish the game at 11 o'clock at night and you get on the bus and it'd be an 8-hour ride to Boise, Idaho. And then you'd, do that and it'd be a 10-hour ride up to Vancouver through the middle of the night. So that was like true minor leagues. But I mean, Oregon was really beautiful. I regret not getting out more. I mean, I really, unfortunately, I was like young in my career and kind of just, like I was only a couple of years removed from high school. Like I didn't really feel that comfortable going out and like exploring and like kind of doing stuff of my own. So if I could do it again, I would go back and I probably would have explored, and I definitely would have played disc golf, but I definitely would have gotten out more.
Sure. That's cool.
Nate, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about Dylan's tournament, and if this is a sanctioned event, man, you can't play. The cash streak is on the line, and if he's only paying out first place, I can't watch.
Come on,
that.
you don't think I can take it? I gotta. Maybe the pressure is what I need. Maybe I got more riding because I got the pressure of the cash streak. I'll be making putts. These other guys don't even know. They won't understand.
That's the thing.
You got to invite Kale then.
So don't let Kale go.
Everyone would have to play aggressive, and then it sees it's like, hey man, who can hit that 50, 60-foot putt when there's big money in the line, and that one stroke is the difference between life change. As ruthless as it sounds, I mean,
sure,
you're going to see kind of like. You're going to see what people are made of, and it's going to be it would be super intense. So I think it would be really interesting.
You got to watch those disc golfers, though, man. We're kind of sneaky. Like, you get to the last hole, and it'd be like a sly split.
Oh, I think we have to make a rules committee then.
You're going to have to try. You're going to have to figure out a way to head that off at the pass, because that's definitely going to be some conversations around the practice basket when there's $300,000 on the line and 3 guys are tied going into the last round. They're going to be like, hey,
I've got
just gave 150 to the winner and the other 2 get 75. What about that?
I've got the solution.
What a friendly community, man. What a friendly community.
I've got the solution. It's real easy. I used to do it in the car business. I would have my office manager make $500 checks out to my salesmen's wives. And I would mail the checks to the wives, and I would say, if your husband sells 10 cars this month, you bring that check to me and we'll get it signed. That check's for you. So
Hey.
she would then make sure hubby got off to work every day. Oh no, you can't come home for dinner tonight because you got a customer? That's fine. Mom is going to get this $500 check signed. So you just make the checks out to the wives, and you let them know, listen, this could be yours. Don't let your husband pull no funny business in the AT&T box. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's that or the prize has just got to be like a Lamborghini or something that you can't really split.
Oh, yeah, something swaggy. Maybe a box full of 2015 Firebird.
That's something. Yeah, we could talk about something like that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, don't let Macbeth win the Lamborghini though, because he'll forget the keys, Nate. And you won't be able to look inside of it. So, okay, guys, we're gonna have more with Dylan Cease, but first we got to pay some quick bills and check in with a couple of our amazing sponsors. Hey guys, if you're anything like me, when you're out there on the course, you're not laying it up. And now you can let everybody know with your very own Running It with Nate Sexton t-shirt, brought to you by our friends at VII Apparel CO. VII Apparel CO, formerly the Savage Apparel Company, is the official apparel partner of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. They have the official jersey partner of Joe Mez Pro, and they're the official jersey partner of our host, Nate Sexton. And now you can get your very own Running It with Nate Sexton shirt at VIIapparel.co. VII Apparel is the home of all your disc golf apparel for when you're out on the course. They represent disc golfers like Nate Sexton, Chris Dickerson, Avery Jenkins, Madison Walker, and so many more. Home of the Disc Golf Pro Shop, where you can start your own disc golf apparel line with VII. VIIapparel.co is your one-stop company for all your custom apparel needs. They do it all, from screen printing and embroidery, a great partner for tournaments, clubs, or teams. VII Apparel CO creates the best jerseys in disc golf. Make sure you check out VIIapparel.co to see all of their other offerings as well. Grab your first edition Running It with Nate Sexton t-shirt. Get your pre-order in now at VIIapparel.co. I'm so excited to introduce Rogue Discs to our listeners. Guys, check them out on their website, roguediscs.com, or you can just scroll down in the description of this show, and Anna will be nice enough to put a link right there for you to click and get on there. Nate, this website is awesome. When you get on the website, they've got the dynamic flow chart set up. You can put the specifics to the kind of disc that you like, and they will go ahead and show you all the discs that fit into the speeds and the fade and everything that you want there. They've got more than 20,000 discs and over 600 mold and plastic combinations in stock. They've got some awesome new hand warmers for those of us on my side of the country that are trying to get out there and play in the cold. Check out roguediscs.com. And Nate, for our listeners, there got to be a way to save them a little bit of money, right?
Oh yeah, we got our code RUNIT10, 10% off your first purchase. I just want to thank them for coming on board. It's awesome to have them working with us, and also say it's definitely hand warmer season over here as well. So I'm looking forward to trying those out. These are the electric ones you can recharge. I've been going through the Costco pack. I'm generating trash. I don't need to do that. I'm going to get digital with my hand warmer technology.
Nate Sexton stepping his game up, guys. So roguediscs.com, and we thank them for sponsoring this podcast. So yeah, it's so Dylan, do you anticipate, as your career winds down? We're talking about just your career winds down. You're 15 years.
Just starting.
Yeah, I'm thankfully it's I'm definitely closer to the starting line than the finish line, I think. But like I said, I mean, you never know. You really you can't take anything for granted. So, but yeah, it should be closer to the start. That's for sure.
So you grew up in Georgia. Did you grow up a Braves fan?
Oh yeah. Well, so the Braves were pretty much the only team I watched. But I
Only
was
team
a
we
big,
all watched. TBS is on everywhere. They're like
exactly. But I was a big Alex Rodriguez fan, so when he went to the Yankees, I kind of started rooting for them, which I'm a little ashamed to admit that I switched allegiance, but I thought A-Rod was like he was like the greatest baseball player I'd ever seen. So it was hard not to root for the guy at the time. But man, I love the Braves, Chipper Jones, John Smoltz, those legends. It was cool watching them, and they won. I want to say they won 14 straight division titles, I think. So
yeah, they're the most underachieving team in the
great.
history of pro sports.
I know, they just couldn't, and it was. I remember, I think it was Ted Turner when he bought it, and then they went out and got like Gary Sheffield, Javi Lopez. Like they stacked their team, and they just couldn't get it done. But I think that's one of the things about baseball is like it is such a difficult and unpredictable game that you can't just buy your team. You can't just buy a championship team. You can't just get one or two guys. It's got to be, you really have to construct a good team. So yeah, it's you never know what you're going to get. And I think that's kind of what is able to make baseball so great is that uniqueness and that, you never know.
Yeah, those Braves teams were, and you know what? You're actually a little too young because it was even before you were, but like
the 90s, yeah.
Those pitch. I mean, Maddox, Smoltz, Glavine, Avery, Denny Nagel. It was. I mean, for my money, Maddox is the best pitcher ever.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. I don't even know if you're allowed to comment on this, but I'm going to ask you because pretty controversial. Just in the news, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens. They are not going to be in baseball's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I would put those guys in a heartbeat. I mean, to me, like, hey, everyone knows it's like the steroid era. I mean, just put an asterisk by it and say, hey, this was a time in baseball where this is what happened. We clean it up. But I mean, like the McGuire and Sosa home run chase, like single-handedly like revived baseball. And, I mean, Barry Bonds there is not a batter that's ever played baseball that was more, really more menacing than Barry Bonds. I mean, how can you not put that guy in the Hall of Fame? It's not, and I get it. Like, yeah, the steroids is a huge advantage, but a lot of the guys were doing steroids.
Is it really a huge advantage though? And I've talked about this at nauseam.
Absolutely.
But in the 80s, they just had bowls of greenies in the clubhouse, and the guys were popping amphetamines and going out there speeding their faces off. That wasn't a benefit?
No, it was, but I mean, there's a difference between like 80s guys and then a guy hitting 73 home runs and getting walked every other at bat. Like what Barry Bonds did was truly, it's remarkable, and I can't picture it being done again. I mean, it really was that next level, just ridiculous.
Barry Bonds was winning MVPs though well before he turned into Superman. His early years in Pittsburgh, and people don't realize that Barry Bonds, I don't know what the real number is, but I think he has like 7 or 8 gold gloves. When I was a kid, he was making the most ridiculous plays in the field, basket catches, and he was a phenomenal baseball player. Without the home runs, without the home run record, Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. Barry Bonds never, ever tested positive for anything. Baseball didn't even start testing until 2005, and Barry Bonds was retired in 2007. There is no Hall of Fame if Barry Bonds isn't in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I wouldn't word it quite that strongly. Just there's a lot of great guys in the Hall, but I mean, it's kind of tragic that he's not there. I mean, you're missing the greatest that there ever was. I even think. What do you have on Pete Rose not being in the Hall?
Charlie Hustle needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
I know.
It's a joke.
I know.
It's not even close. Pete Rose, maybe. There's a bunch of guys that you can, Ted Williams and even Ichiro, but like Pete Rose might be the greatest hitter of all time, and he's not in the Hall of Fame because he he gambled on baseball as a manager.
I think they say he only ever gambled like for his team, which I know is still not acceptable. But if he was betting against his team, then yes, that's a completely different story. But I don't know, I don't know everything that happened, but that guy was incredible too.
The fact that Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame is a shame. The fact that Barry Bonds isn't in the Hall of Fame is a shame. But, there's also going to be guys like Alex Rodriguez that aren't going to be in the Hall of Fame. There's a lot of guys that aren't going to be in the Hall of Fame, and they're all thanks to my former podcast partner. So had Jose not wrote that book, everything would be different in the world right now. So thanks, Jose.
Man.
So disc golf plans for after you retire, are we going to see you in some, we're going to see you in some like Masters tournaments, I'm guessing, like in 15 years, right?
We'll see how the body feels. We'll see if I maybe gotten my putting, a little better and something. If I feel confident I can be like a 1,000 rated player if I play in tournaments, maybe it'd be fun to do a couple of them. But I'm more like leaning towards not quite like the business side of it, but like I really am really interested in building like a cool course and like doing social media for it, doing like all kinds of different stuff and seeing if I can't do something big in disc golf kind of with like the content and that side, not quite the skill side. Cause I don't think I'd ever be able to catch up to, get anywhere near like what these top guys are. I mean, they really are. They're great athletes. They're, they're skilled in a way that takes years and years and years of repetition.
Listen, there's a lot of disc golf. Well, not a lot, but there's disc golf guys that are putting out better content than they are scores on their rounds. There's no question that you could certainly do something like that. Are you ever going to flip the script? Macbeth was a hotshot little league baseball player. You ever going to throw him in the batter's box and show him up? Or
I'll tell you what, man. Stay tuned for our YouTube because we got some plans along those lines.
That is a video that people are going to watch. Yeah,
we got some plans. I think it'd be funny, and this is, if he hears this, it's given away. But I do think it would be funny if we started in first pitch, I just gave him a nasty curveball and buckled his knees, but no, I think I'd have to tell him kind of like what was coming, at least start with, and then maybe do like a couple at bats where he doesn't know what's coming, just so he can kind of get an idea of what my opponent's got to face.
Wow.
You better not have taken it easy on him.
Oh, I won't. It'll be, we'll get like a track man and all that. So we'll know like how hard I'm throwing. We'll know what the spin is, all that stuff. So get some different camera angles. I think that'd be some really good content.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, man, I know that you are busy and it's late. And I can't thank you enough for coming on and chatting some disc golf and some baseball and some sports with us. And like I said, I really look forward to following your baseball career because it's just getting started.
Thank you.
And soon you're not going to answer my messages anymore. So I wanted to get it in before you got a few Cy Youngs on the mantle and
you're going to
pushed off to an assistant.
You're gonna have to start sending Nate to get the interviews and the podcast stuff.
Right. Well, I already do. I use his name all the time. I'm like, listen, it doesn't matter who I am, but just know that I work with Nate Sexton and we'd like to chat with you. And people are usually like, okay. Or they don't respond. And then I do have to call Nate and go, Nate, he won't respond to me. Can you call him?
Send him a DM.
Nice. And then we get it done. So, well, hey man, I hope the owners open up the doors soon and we get baseball back because it's just, I don't know. It's like, baseball, man, Americano, we need baseball. So, and especially for you, man, because I know that you've got big things coming and that Chicago White Sox team is pretty stacked up. I think you guys are ready to make a run and I'm looking forward to watching that and checking out some cool disc golf content from you as well. Do you have the page up already? Where can our listeners find that?
For previous content, or yeah, it's just Dylan Cease for YouTube. I'm slacking a little bit. I've only got I think I've got 4 videos out right now. One of me and my twin brother playing, and then the other ones I did a series of Paul where we opened some disc dying videos. So I've got to still. I'm working on releasing the last part of that actually. It's kind of I released those like a month and a half ago, and then I got sidetracked with a bunch of stuff and life happened. So, but we're back on track. I shot a round with Paul, Amir, Jarett, and myself in Vegas as well. So I'll probably post that and yeah, kind of maybe throw some discs out of stadiums or something. Try to come up with some cool ideas.
Nice. Look, man, I'll be the first to admit, being an Oregon kid, I said kind of the same thing to Casey DeSmith when we had him on. Hockey and baseball, those are kind of the sports I never really caught them as far as like following. Mm-hmm. So, but that's a positive right now because I don't have a team, so I'm gonna go White Sox.
Oh, let's go! All right, cool. I'll have to send you some White Sox swag.
That's my team now.
Cool. Wow, love it.
Look at this, man. We're just making things happen. This is exciting. Well,
yeah,
we had Casey DeSmith on, and I'm a Sabres fan for hockey. That's just the way it is. He's the goaltender for the Penguins, but he put up on Instagram a few months ago his new mask that he had done for the season, and it's Dwight Schrute from The Office, which is my favorite show of all time. And I sent him a message, and I was like, dude, disc golf and The Office, like, I'm really trying hard to stay a Sabres fan here, but you're pulling me to the
Did we just become
other
best
side.
friends?
Yeah, and he said I'll give you 5 Stanley Nickels if you become a Penguins fan, which is a currency from The Office. And I was like, all right, dude, I'm in. What am I supposed to do? How can I turn that down? So
that guy's good too, man. We were supposed to play together in Pittsburgh, but he had an injury, then it ended up pouring. So yeah, that guy's a great disc golfer. He's definitely more advanced than I am.
Well, it turns out you professional athletes have a knack for this kind of stuff.
It is sports
we
stuff.
we pick up movements a little bit quicker than the average person, I think.
I would say. Well, Nate, look at this, man. We thought we were just gonna have a disc golf podcast. Now you're a Penguins fan. You're a White Sox fan.
Give me Trailblazers. Trailblazers. I guess I'll go. Man, it's Seahawks and Bills for me, and then baseball. It's clear White Sox. It's not even close. Mm-hmm. And hockey, same way. Penguins all the way.
Well, I'm gonna get Aaron Rodgers on this podcast because Aaron Rodgers likes to play disc golf.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Are you serious?
Aaron Rodgers is a disc golf fan.
He's a player.
In fact, he begged Ricky Wysocki for a picture in a grocery store a couple years ago. It was it was all over social media, a picture of Rick and Aaron Rodgers. It was really cool that he recognized him. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a disc golf fan, and I am going to get him. So you mark my words. But you know what? Who knows what team he's going to be on by the time we get him here. So, but yeah, so there's one for you to look for, Dylan, because A-Rod likes to play. So
maybe I can get around with him. That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Well, again, man, thank you so much for stopping in and chatting with us. Like I said, look forward to seeing what happens with your baseball career because I know it's going to be huge things, and looking forward to some cool disc golf content, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. Good to meet you via podcast, and wishing you the best.
Thank you. You too. Good luck this season.
Thanks. You too.
Yep. See you guys.
Awesome conversation with Dylan. Really so cool to have him be able to stop in. And, guys, I know we talk to a lot of big name disc golf players and we tell a lot of disc golf stories, but I think it's also cool to see people from other walks of life and that are enjoying disc golf this much. And he's really into it, Nate.
Yeah, definitely. Especially people with $1 million arms. Those are the kind of guys I like talking to.
Yeah, multi-million-dollar arms. Like I said, he's going to be out of my range soon. I'll be getting passed off to the assistant, but happy to have him. Happy to have him for now. So Nate, some cool stuff going on. Now, I'm sure in the past, people remember we had Double G on the show, had a cool talk with Jarett, and you and Chandler Fry did a little taste test of some Double G jerky, and it looks like they're kind of they're expanding a little bit. They're stepping up their flavor scale, including one pretty special one, right, Nate?
Yeah, there's flavor. I gotta say, no, it is really good though. Nate Sexton Sweet and Spicy. It is my favorite, honestly, but that's because I picked it. They gave me a couple choices of flavors, and that's the one I went with. It's really good. They sent me a ton of the little 1 ounce bags. I've been carrying them in the side of my pound disc golf bag, and if I see a shot that's sweet and spicy enough, man, I toss it out to whoever it is. So if you see me on the course and you got something in the tank, you're ready to show me a shot, give me a holler. If it's sweet and spicy, you can have a bag of jerky, no problem.
Yeah, they sent me out some. I couldn't believe how good the sweet and spicy is, and I'm not just saying that because it's got your name on there, Nate. It really is good, but it is kind of fitting, man, because you're a little sweet and then a little spicy. You're a nice guy on the podcast. You get on the course, you get a little spicy. So I think it was a good flavor choice for you.
Yeah, I like to think I got a little spice on the back burner if I need it.
Yeah, so guys, all you have to do is go ahead and visit doublegjerky.com. Check out the new Nate Sexton flavor. It could be the new collectible. Like these bags could be the 2015 Firebirds that everybody didn't jump on, right? In 10 years, you might be like, I got the first round of Nate Sexton Sweet and Spicy. So go ahead and head over to doublegjerky.com. Not only are you getting an awesome snack, the jerky is just amazing. Double G is kind of a master behind the grill. But of course, proceeds go to the Double G Foundation, which helps get PGA memberships for youth, which is I don't even know how many they've gotten at this point, but I know that they've just gotten so many, been able to help people out doing that. So go ahead and check them out. And then I think there's still the McBeast barbecue, I think is up there.
Oh yeah.
And then all the other awesome flavors. It's just really cool because, Double G is an awesome guy. Team Innova throws the disc 4 miles. It's unreal how far he throws the disc. And I think the jerky has something to do with that, Nate.
I need to go. I'm going to go eat a bag right after this because, I need to figure that out for sure.
Absolutely. So check them out, doublegjerky.com. Pick up your new Nate Sexton flavor and go ahead and leave us a comment on the Instagram at Running It with Nate Sexton. Let us know what you think about the new Nate Sexton Sweet and Spicy. And we thank Double G Craft Jerky for everything that they've done for this podcast. And now, Nate, you live forever as a snack.
Yeah, if people really collect these things, get them in like a no light, no oxygen, keep it at the constant temperature. Maybe I can make it. Maybe I can make it 1,000 years.
It's amazing. doublegjerky.com. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Running It with Nate Sexton. Remember to check out all of our amazing sponsors. If you heard an ad, something that you like, we're going to go ahead and have the links listed in the description below. Go ahead, click on it. Check out our friends over at Rogue Discs. Special thanks to Greazy Dyes and Visionary Disc Golf, and of course, Double G Craft Jerky. Until next time, I'm Jarett Orr. He's Nate Sexton. Most people are laying it up, but here, we're going to run it.
Beautiful.